It gives us hope. This is a light conference. Darkness flees when light comes. The presence of light, it brings us hope. So hi guys, welcome back to a new episode where I'll be showing you how I used Cubase as an external processor on my Behringer X32. So I'm actively running auto tunes, that's wave tunes, then I'm running saturation, I'm running triggers and some other things on my tracks, and I'm sending them, I'm grouping these things and sending back to the mixer. So guys, this is how it works. So guys, welcome to Cubase 15. So the first thing I'm actually running is triggers on my kick, right? So if you check my rack, right, over here, I have like almost 18 tracks, right? And the first thing you're seeing over here is my kick drum. If you look down over here, it's my kick drum. So I'm actively running triggers. If you check my inserts, right, I'm running happy trigger and I have samples on it already. So then I'm running an equalizer on the kick, right? This is what the equalizer is doing. You can see it over here. I'm just doing a little bit of low mid cuts and some mid cuts, then some kind of low cuts. Then I don't think I'm really doing anything on this SSH channel. You guys should know this plugin. This is a Wave SSL channel mono. So yeah, I think I'm doing something on it. I just increased the high end a little bit. Then I used F6, but I don't think the F6 is actually active. Then this is my equalizer, right? This is what I'm doing on the kick drum. Everything I'm doing on the kick drum. And the way it's being routed is on your M32 or your X32, any mixer you're using, it has USB sends and USB returns, right? So I'm using USB send to receive from my mixer, then it's coming through this track. If I come over to my routing, I can just assign whatever I'm sending from my mixer to the inputs of this guy, then send out this guy through another output. It might be that same output, but if I'm receiving from mono 1, I'm sending out through mono 1, right? So it's actually USB send and return. Then on my board, I'm now receiving from mono 1. So anything I do on this track is going to be affected by that channel, right? So that's how I'm running on my kick. Then on my snare drum, I'm also running triggers. And in case you want to hear the sample, this is how it sounds like. I'm not calling with my mixer, so you might not see how I routed this, but this is, I'll just use my basic MacBook speakers to play it out. So this is the kick drum over here. If I come to the trigger over here and I play it out, that's how it sounds. So I'm replacing my kick drum with this sound. Then also on my snare drum, I'm also doing trigger on my snare drum, and my trigger has layers. So you might not hear anything because it's not routed. Let me route it stereo. Good. Then once I play, so this is my hard hit, then a mid hit, then a ghost note. So I'm also running on my toms also. If you check my toms. So I think I need to route this guy so you guys can hear my samples and my flow tom. So guys, if you have a very bad sounding drum, you can just use triggers, right? This is not for you or an escape route for you not to do the right thing. This is when you are hooked up and there's nothing else to use. That's when you place triggers on your drum. Always try to get your drums to sound good naturally. That's the tom 1. Then I have the tom 2. Yes. Then my flow tom. So these are samples already. So guys, that's it. Then after my drums, I'm running some sort of things on my bass, right? So on my bass guitar, if you look over here on my bass, I'm running SSA channel, right? I didn't really do anything on it. Then I'm running F6. Then there's a plugin we call Quadra Fuzz. Like this plugin adds saturation. So I'm running saturation on my bass guitar, right? So I'm just saturating the high mids and the low mids and the lows. So the bass sounds fuller. Then I'm running
The same thing on my guitar, my lead guitar, then also on my piano too. Then over to my lead vocal, right? Things become tricky. Then I'm running wave tune on my lead vocal, right? And I choose the key and do send to all over here. So because I have so many tracks that I want you to tune, so if I change the key from over here, I can just do send to all, and every wave tone that is actively on this project, the key will be changed also. Then I'm running an equalizer called frequency. What this guy is doing is a lot of dynamics, right? I'm cutting my high and my low end, and these guys are actually in dynamic mode, right? So I want the mic to maintain its balance or its frequency response, especially when the singer is shouting and screaming. So some exaggerated frequency will actually be tamed. Then I'm running SSH channel. I think I just increase the I a little bit. Then I'm running vitamin. These are wave plugins. So these vitamins is like a multi-band equalizer, right? So it actually has what do we call it? It's actually in different ranges. The way crossover works. So if I push this guy up, it will only push that airy side. It's push from like 4K to 16K. Then I'm now running frequency again, and this is doing some surgical equalization. Then let's jump over to my lead vocal. Sorry, my BGVs. I had 6 BGVs that day. Then I'm just running wave tune, right, on all the BGVs. Then I'm sending all the BGVs to a BGV bus. So I'm not sending them back individually to my mixer. I'm sending them to a bus, which is over a BGV good bus. Then I'm doing equalization, SSA channel and chord rifles, and sending back to the board. Then I also have a reverb bus over here called Shima. I'm sending back to my mixer. Then I think that's basically all, right? I don't send my mains to Cubase to process. Maybe in some special cases I do, but in order to play safe, right? You cannot really trust digital stores. So guys, this is it. This is everything. So thank you guys for watching.
So thank you guys for watching. If you found this video really helpful, please share to your fellow audio files, like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you guys.